All right, a very good morning. It is exactly 4 minutes past 7 a.m. We are here on the KOKOLIRIKO show on Westnile TV, and we'll be bringing you a lot of stories that are just moving around, and also issues that are happening across the country. That is where our interest is, and we'll be able to break you some of them down and see if really they are very important for the transformation of our society, but also looking at what is happening elsewhere across the world. What can we pick and really digest here on this show? From now onwards, we will be able to catch us live on the KOKOLIRIKO show from 7 a.m. This is based on the changes that we have here at the station, and we'll be able to bring you all this. For those who are still sleeping, we have woken up, and also you should be able to prepare yourself to go for work. This is very, very important. My name is Frederick Dramadri. We'll be able to move forth with all these other issues that will be breaking here. First of all, remember here in Arua City, it is drizzling, and also in other parts of this region. What is happening in your area? That's where our interest is. You should be able to share with us what is happening, and also how best you could help a neighbor in transforming his family or maybe a community to come out of poverty, and also talk about the issues of GBV that have been really reported frequently in most of these police stations that we have. What can we do as community in order to really move away from those kind of issues that are affecting our society? Is it poverty? Is it maybe illiteracy? Is it because people really do not understand themselves? What can we do in order to really curtail some of these things? Well, let's not really every time look at police as the only agency to solve certain issues. Those who are watching us within Arua City, we say thank you very much for having hosted the president of National Unity Platform yesterday peacefully. It was the first time that we were witnessing the activities of National Unity Platform without any security challenges. I want to also appreciate the security team who really worked hard throughout the night, throughout the day, and also after the event. They really did a lot. Most times Westnile, after the 2018 saga up to now, has not registered any distractions, any insecurity issues during any visit of a presidential candidate or a party that is coming to visit this region. I want to appreciate the leadership of the security for really for looking at that aspect of helping the people to secure their property and also their lives. This is very worth appreciating. So we want to really say thank you very much those who are already watching us. We have various platforms that you should be able to look at and also catch up this so on. We have the YouTube channels, we have the Twitter channels, we have also this show live on your disc, so you should be able to really watch us from elsewhere where you are, and also contribute to whatever we're discussing. And in case you have any other issue that you want us to really look into, or any issue that is affecting the community, we are ready to pick that comment that you have. You can share with us through our YouTube channels, that is the KOKOLIRIKO Live there on Westnile Television. So in case you see that tag on YouTube, you should be able to visit it and check the inbox, and also really write whatever you have in your brain. First things first, and then our neighbors around here in Westnile region, talk about those in Arua district. You are most welcome. Yesterday there are a lot of issues that happened in Arua district, but also we have seen that preparations to receive mosquito nets is on high gear in Arua district. This is very, very important. Remember, Arua district also benefited in the IRS, that is the into-residual spray to prevent malaria from being transmitted to communities. This was aimed at really targeting the mosquitoes that are transmitting this kind of disease to humans. So after that, what happened? We saw the number of malaria cases reducing in the district. But a few months later, we saw the numbers of these cases really shooting up. This came because people really lacked actually abandoned some of the strategies like maybe sleeping under treated mosquito nets, but also how do you keep those mosquito nets safe apart from really wasting them into doing other activities. Talk about treating, maybe safeguarding nursery beds and so on. Others use them for tying their goats and so on. Those are things that are not really needed so much by government, because if we are putting efforts in eradicating a disease, let's as also communities join government in the fight, other than really frustrating the efforts that are already been deployed. That is one thing that some of the districts in this region will be able to get mosquito nets in the nearby or in the next month, because they were supposed to get it in the first phase, but now that this region has been earmarked to receive mosquito nets in the second phase, so which is starting by October. So it is just a few weeks to come. That is where we'll be able to also receive the mosquito nets. But also talk about the issues around the preventive measures. Talk about slashing your compound. Talk about having also other measures put in place. Clearing the bush is very, very important for a person who is also really vigilant about his safety. It is very important. If you cannot do that, then you are not a person who is ready to move away from such diseases that are really causing havoc in the country. If you look at the rankings, you will realize that malaria is the third biggest contributor to death in Uganda. Talk about other diseases out of the 10. This means there's a lot that we need to do. Apart from this is centered around pregnant mothers and children, but also it has moved up to the elderly. So this is very important. If we cannot prevent malaria, we are bound to lose all the young generations that we have. We will lose all the mothers. So what shall we be left with? Who will be your neighbor if you cannot protect your neighbor from getting this disease? It is one thing that attitude can prevent this disease. Even if we can all gear towards really moving away from these kind of things, it is very, very important. Let's take advice from these health workers. The VSTs are there on ground who are helping our villages and the cells in coming up with cleanliness around homesteads, and also giving us health education at that grassroots level. It is very, very important if we listen to them, much as majority of them may not really bother to give this kind of advice at homes until there's a case that has been detected. This is very important. If you are a VST and we understand that your work is like voluntary, you are categorized as volunteer staff of the Ministry of Health. So if you can keep on really doing a lot with your community, you will transform this community. Your community will become one of the case studies that other communities will be able to learn from, and also you will have people who are healthy. That pride will go back to you, and also as a leader, you know God blesses such people so much because you have done the just to the people around you. But also to other neighbors, talk about the people in Zombo who have over the time complained about the quality of the roadworks that they have. Remember, Zombo itself has only one tarmacked road. We'll talk about the roundabout that you will only see. That's where the people in Zombo are able to see a tarmac. So government earmarked this road from Vura up to Zombo. We are yet to see if this will be tarmacked soonest, because we have seen it over the years. Pledges been made, but this time we were briefed that there is now a progress made to really get a contractor to tarmac that road. So we are here to see if this can materialize this year or next year. So in case this materializes, this will help in also the issues of trade. You know, that is a transit route to DRC, where really people could use that road other than really coming to Nebi and come to Arua City before they move to DRC. There are so many big markets along these borderlines. Talk about the Kampala market, talk about the Vura Customs, the markets around this stretch. These markets bring a lot of revenue to the government, and also in terms of security, it will really expedite surveillance, because if the road is okay, security vehicles will be able to peruse very fast and really rescue situations along the borders. So this is very important. People of Zombo, this is one good thing that you'll be able to receive. We have seen the State Minister for Northern Uganda really talking much about this, and also it will be very prudent that if this materializes within this tenure, it will be very important for us, the business persons, for those who are also using it, maybe to go for their activities. You remember, the people from Zombo, also this side of Uganda, and also those from Ituri province and those other areas use these routes so frequent to conduct businesses and also do farming. There are families that are residing in DRC, there are others in this side of Uganda. So it will be very important to really tarmac that route in order to really have a very important maybe increase in revenue, and also transform the lives of the communities along these neighboring countries. So away from that, come to Nebi, we have a lot that is going on. If you have not really come out of your blankets, you should be able to come out. There's a lot that we are touching from your areas. We are moving to Nebi, where the issue of garbage management has continued to really cause a lot of headache to the leaders, especially the municipal officials. Talk about the vehicles that were given way back in 2004 that the district, the municipal continued to use, but now that most of the garbage trucks are down, they cannot really come up very easily. There were efforts made to really procure tires for these vehicles, but up to now there are still major repairs that are needed. So this has really affected much of the municipal's effort in making sure that the town is clean, and also ensuring that garbage that has been collected is taken to the decomposing sites, or the sites where they are going to burn this kind of waste timely. So that is one thing that has been that is affecting the leadership there in Nebi municipality. So most of the times they depend on the vehicles that are really brought maybe picked from the district, but also in terms of maybe if the district is busy, that means a lot will be happening here in terms of keeping the place dirty, and also the markets. You know, markets generate a lot of garbage, and if you look at the statistics that we have in this country, urban garbage management is really a very huge burden, not only in Uganda but also across the world. It makes really the towns dirty, the developing towns very dirty, and also really affects the hygiene and also the conditions of the persons who are trading in this kind of urban centers, really deteriorating in terms of the air you breathe, and also really the inconveniences that comes around the flies that come to suck some of these things they need, the food items they need to consume from this kind of garbage. So there's a lot that government needs to do for the municipalities. We have seen a lot of effort that has been done to the new created cities. The cities have received a lot of a good number of trucks that were newly donated. Talk about 2021, 2022 financial year, there were trucks that were given to the regional cities. but the municipalities were never given vehicles. So it will be very important if new vehicles are given to this kind of municipalities for them to really also move on with the issues of garbage collections. Remember, these municipalities in the near future may turn to be another city centers. So, you know, the privileges that comes with the city. A city has the access to really budget huge amounts of money. They have a lot to attract from international bodies that are able to come and develop such towns, but also talk about investors coming very fast to develop such kind of urban centers that are fast growing. So it is very important that we fast track these kind of things in order to really improve the status of our people and also improve revenue, because if the place is very clean, people are able to enjoy, the business environment is okay, you will realize that more business persons will be able to come and venture into such places. But also, let's move slightly away from Nebi and talk about backwards. The temperatures have continued to rise because of different issues that are around the climate change. Temperature has continued to be constantly high, and people cannot really grow a lot of crops at this time. There's a lot of wilting of crops, and also food insecurity is threatening, apart from people getting money from the fish that they really have to harvest from the River Nile. What else can people do apart from this? Because we are all aware that value addition facilities are remaining lying idle in Pakwas district because people cannot really feed these factories with the raw materials. Talk about the issues of planting cassava that people are supposed to feed this factory with, because the factory was majorly put there to add value to the cassava that is planted within this district. But because the weather cannot favor people from really producing much of this, but also talking about grains cannot really really yield so much, and this has really affected so many of the farmers, and they have really diversified. Apart from now dealing in cassava, others have ventured into other cereals. But we are aware that government has really moved to really establish a micro irrigation scheme that is happening, that has been established there in Pakwas district. This, if the works are done, we expect that this will improve a lot of the food production, and also this will quicken the utilization of this factory. That is one thing that we want to bring for you here this morning. You are still watching the KOKOLIRIKO so on Westnile TV here in Arua City. But also, let's move slightly to the neighbors of Pakwas, that is Madiokolo district, where a lot of efforts are being made to ensure that the Adzai Wildlife Reserve is really revamped, and also tourism activities kick on. We have seen the tourism officer coming boldly to say that they have the master plan that has already been that is being utilized. One of the issues is to construct hostel facilities and also hotels, temporary hotels in this Adzai Wildlife Reserve, and also ensuring that the Intertown Council area, the urban centers of Intertown Council, specifically in Yayav Trading Center, that is the town council urban market that is growing. They are already establishing a lot of hostel facilities, and also big hotels are already coming up to ensure that when tourists come to visit Adzai Wildlife Reserve, they are able to sleep there, they are able to feed there, they are able to avoid these costs of transportation all the time to Arua City. Remember, moving from Arua City to Adzai Wildlife Reserve is close to 43 minutes. This is when you use a vehicle that can really move very fast because of the poor road conditions, and also talking about the issues of accommodation challenge that tourists have been facing in this place. But also talk about the issues of what activities are already taking place in Ajai Wildlife Reserve. Remember, this was famously known for the wildlife, that is the white rhinos, the northern white rhinos. That species in Africa was only seen in Ajai Wildlife Reserve. But now, tracing all these species, we cannot really see where they are. Remember, due to the instability in Uganda, that was in 1979, during the Idi Amin's regime, there were a lot of issues of insecurity when he was his presidency came to an end, when he was ousted out by several groups of armed men in this country. There were a lot of security threats that also affected the wildlife. And remember, these animals had to vacate Ajai Wildlife Reserve. According to some of the elders, some of these animals ran to the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, and also up to now you cannot see where they are now. Right now, UA is fast tracking really to bring white rhinos. Now the southern white rhinos that were there in Nakasongola district, that were kept there in Ziwa Sanctuary. So we are yet to see when these animals will be coming back, but currently we have several other species of animals that are there in Ajai Wildlife Reserve that really tourists have continued to come to see. Talking about also the various species of butterfly that you will only see in Ajai Wildlife Reserve. There are some of them that you cannot see elsewhere in Uganda. It's only here in Ajai Wildlife Reserve. But also other wildlife species, the cobs, talk about the cats, the various types of leopards and so on, that you'll be yearning to see in Ajai Wildlife Reserve. So this is one of the pride that Westnile has in terms of developing the tourism industry. Talk about the local tourism that we have. There are a number of other upcoming sites that have been developed by local governments. This is also very important, that if you are coming to Westnile, you should be able to see some of these areas that have been developed by local governments. And also remember, this Ajai Wildlife Reserve was really, first of all, something that was really first preserved by the elders. After the elders, the first elder, who was by then called Ajai, the chief Ajai, who was very instrumental in commanding the community, in doing several things. But one of the legacy he left was to preserve that area and handed it over to government, although it was in his land. This was very, very important, and really we expect everyone who has the urge to develop the region, the country, to do the same in order to really have your legacy praised every now and then, that you will be remembered for by doing this kind of great jobs in your communities. And also, let's move away from Mariokolo to the neighbors in Terego district. Remember, there were a lot of issues around PDM and also the issues of health that were really reported so much in Terego district. Talk about the recent arrest of the DHO for mishandling some of the medical equipment and also illegally recruiting some of the staff into some of these health facilities. But we are reliably informed that he was released pending investigations. So we're yet to see how far this issue has gone, specifically for Terego district. In case equipments are delivered, these equipments documented? Do they reach the right places? But also, how do you recruit staff into facilities to do government work? But also, even if they are volunteers, they needed to be passing through the rightful channels. Those are things that are happening there in Terego district. So in terms of some of the idle equipments that are unutilized in Terego district, talk about the Inga Health Center medical equipments, specifically the fridge that was fixed by International Rescue Committee, that is right now championing the issues of health in the district. Talk about the refugee aspects and also the things that they are doing there in the refugee settlements. That was how the health facility benefited from this kind of fridge. So this has not been utilized because of one, the issue of electricity and also personnel to operate them. So this is very important in case a regional referral hospital blood bank is able to rescue that situation. It will be very important because if you cannot train health workers to use this kind of equipments, at some point, when they are not utilized, they can really get maybe wasted for nothing. That is one thing that is happening in Terego district that we want to bring for you. But also moving to the neighboring district, and next after Terego district, we will talk about Marasa district, where a lot of issues are moving around the Kololo Seed Secondary School that was under construction. By then, there were allegations of mismanagement of funds worth 1.9 billion Ugandan shillings, and we saw the IG arresting some of the officers, but later on these were brought back because IDT could not fast track the investigations, and the time for these officers to resume work was due. After 6 months, the investigations were not concluded. They were brought back to work, and up to now, the case has been phased off, and the officers have resumed their work. But what is the impact of this? We have seen staffing, and also this infrastructure was not completed. Up to now, you cannot really tell that this was really a facility constructed by government because the works are incomplete, but also talk about the issues of infrastructure challenges. These have now really remained a very big standing block for the local government really to say we apologize or we will be able to establish this. But we are hearing that there are a number of efforts being put to ensure that this facility is really finished up. Okay, the construction works are completed. So we have to see if really under different programs of government more money will be injected to do this work, because currently teachers are not being accommodated at the school, but also the number of learners has drastically reduced because people became demotivated. They could not send their children there because of the fears of this incomplete building going to soon collapse on the children. That is where the state of that facility is. But moving to Yumbe district, you will realize that the issue of drug abuse and addiction really continues to devastate the issues of socio-economic transformation. Talk about the young people engaging themselves in drug abuse. The cases have continued to rise, and year in, year out. Talk about children, young people smoking maybe drugs, taking drugs like shisha, also removing the gray hair of our elders. And now elders are running away from being in the town centers, the urban centers. They're moving to villages just because they have been threatened by young people. Because if you listen to some of the testimonies from some of these elders, you realize that really it is something that really the law has to take its course about some of this, because it is abuse of human rights, but also that is an attempt to kill someone. Because how do you forcibly remove my hair, and yet really it was not really to be done like that? That is one thing that is happening in the Yumbe district, and this has resulted into a high increase in cases of crimes. Talk about the teenage pregnancy, child marriage, and also rape cases increasing, and also issues of murder increasing so frequently in Yumbe district. That is where the state of that district is, and also we hope that the community liaisons office of the Yumbe district local government, specifically the police department and also the community development office at the district, should team up really to do a lot of community engagements around this area that will help really to move away from this. Also around the local stories that we have, moving away from Yumbe to Moyo, you will realize that the issues of teenage pregnancy, alongside also the issues of cross-border movement among the communities, is really alarming. Remember, Moyo is just a few kilometers from the main town. You realize that it is just 10 kilometers to the border. That is where a lot of issues happen. There are so many claims that the South Sudanese army or the rebels who cross from the other side come and really rape so many women here in Moyo district, and they run away. That is really one thing that is touching. The two governments need to sit down and see what kind of activity this is really impacting into, but also who are those perpetrators that are claimed to be the government officials or the army or the rebels from South Sudan. Can we come clear and see if these are really the rightful persons that are said to be really engaging in this kind of activity? It is it is a violation of human rights, and also somebody can contract disease in these kind of things. So the local governments really need to fast track this, but also bring in the aspect of security in line with these kind of things. We expect a lot to be done around that area in order to ensure that really people stay safe in the district, and also many other people really feel like we need to visit Moyo district to do a lot of developments in the district. That is what is currently happening in Moyo district. That is of concern to the members of public right now. If we move to Juman district, lastly for Westnile region, as we round up, Juman district, you realize that the issues of environmental depletion, talk about the forest cover being depleted, is still alarming the civil society. Talk about the issues of the deforestation in Zoka Forest, Zoka Central Forest Reserve that we have, the pride of the Madisa region, where we have that forest which has really been helping the people to receive the tropical rain that we have in that area. Right now, the temperatures are very high because of the impact of these activities that we have. Talk about charcoal burning, talk about the issues of lampering that is too common in that forest reserve. Recently, there were issues around the upland conflict that people said has really had very huge impact on this forest cover. Talk about the officers who were deployed to protect the lives and property of people from the conflict of Apa. So these officers, according to the civil society, have shifted into this forest reserve and are aiding this kind of lampering. Can we see this really come to an end? Because we have seen documents circulating from the local government talk about Ikirikwa sub-county, which is in Ajuman district. This officers talk about the sub-county chief. That document is signed by the sub-county chief with the stamp of the sub-county, allowing persons and also companies to move with their charcoal. This is one thing government has been really pinning a lot of hard points around this, really to really curtail the issues of deforestation and also the issues of environmental destruction. Now, if you see this kind of documents coming from local governments, that means it is very, very unfortunate, and it will really continue to affect our efforts of fighting against the impacts of climate change. Can we refrain from that? Can we really come out clearly about what we needed to do? Because if we are saying government is the one to really stop these kind of activities, what about you as an individual? We have seen civil societies talk about the Friends of Zoka, who were instrumental in fighting against this, and the leaders have come out clearly to say that they have oftentimes been threatened by people in the district, but also those army officials who are in the forest. They have accused mostly the environmental police that have been deployed to protect this forest cover. Can the commanders reconcile this kind of issues with the civil society? Is this an allegation? Is this a very tangible claim that really needed to be addressed? They need to look at some of these issues and really to ensure that this forest is saved, and also we have the rain that we used to receive as Westnile from this kind of things. That is not the only forest reserve that we have in this region that has continued to have this kind of alarms coming out. Talk about the K Forest Reserve in Yumbe district, where people really were had. Remember during the recent tour by President Yoweri Museveni Kaguta, who came here in Western region, this same issue was raised by Mambo Asraf, who is the member of, who is the local council 5 chairperson of Koboko district, about why NFA continues to chase people away from the forest reserve, and they their officers are seen with the logs moving out. That was one petition they placed before the president, and the president answered that they are going to look into the issue, and that's why we are seeing some of the efforts being put about the ban in commercial trade in charcoal, and also completely banning the transportation of forest products across West Nile for commercial purposes. In case you want to use now forest products like charcoal and so on, you're expected to have 1 bag per vehicle. This will really be for home use, and that is where the government has taken a measure after this petition, and that is the impact of team spirit, and we expect all the leaders to team up really to control some of these things. Remember, there were a lot of ordinances that were put by the local governments, but the efforts were retarded because local governments were not united in fighting about these kind of things. That are some of the local issues that are happening in some of these individual districts. Wherever you are, if you are from any of these districts, you should be able to check some of those issues that have come to our attention and that we have been able to bring for you live here. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be able to dive into some of the big stories that are making headlines in Western region, headlines in northern Uganda, headlines in the entire country, but also move away from Uganda, what is happening elsewhere in the world. That we'll be able to break in the subsequent segments that we'll be having. Let's take a break.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
A brand new Global Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. We were discussing the local issues that are happening in this region, talking about the individual districts, what is happening in each and every district in Westnile region. That has been the segment, the first segment that we were able to break for you those individual issues that were happening, that have continued to happen in these local governments. So if you're a Westnile outside there, you should be able to follow us on Westnile TV platforms so that you're able to know what is happening in your district and also see how you can help as a person to really make sure that your district thrives and also is able to do well in this country and also really compete with other districts in some of the parts of this country to ensure that we raise the socio-economic status of our people and also see that service delivery is really one thing we first focus on and see that really people get the rightful services they deserve from these leaders that we have in these local governments. Let's move away from that. Let's have a recap of the mobilization campaign by the National Unity Platform. Yesterday, remember, in Arua City, that was the 11th area, the local government or the region that the National Unity Platform was able to visit. That is Westnile region. For Westnile region, he was able to come to Arua City, where he came and had so much crowd behind him. And also, one of the biggest issues that we saw in this mobilization campaign was the issues to do with the infrastructure of Westnile region. Talk about the roads, talk about the electricity, talk about the network connectivity of the roads and also around the issues to do with those two infrastructures that were really a big debate for the presidential candidate who is under the main opposition party. Right now in Uganda, the main opposition party is the National Unity Platform. Looking at the number of parliamentarians and also the people in the local governments that they have been able to fill, they have moved ahead of the Forum for Democratic Change. That was the biggest opposition political party in Uganda that was really there to fight for presidency in the recent elections. But now it is National Unity Platform that has moved ahead of the Forum for Democratic Change. So one of the issues that came from the discussions in the mobilization tour of Robert Chagulani, who came as a sole person and really came in person to talk to the people in Westnile region, and also he came alongside Francis Zake, who is Mitiana Municipality Member of Parliament under the NUP party ticket, and also Gilbert Olanya, who is from Gulu City. He also accompanied their president. A lot of issues were said about the infrastructure, the poor road network connecting Westnile region from Pakwach up to Arua City. The concerns about the deplorable state of the roads has really shaped his discussions, and also up to now it has remained a big issue in this region. Talk about the distance and also how fast you are able to access Arua City, about these roads. The road, we have many times we have continued to talk about this, but government earmarked a number of a big sum of money to ensure that this road is rehabilitated, because the timeline given for this road had expired. Talk about its stay. If this road was to last, It was supposed to be for 10 years, but now it has exceeded the 10 years and its condition has really become very worse, and a number of accidents have continued to happen on this road. Remember, recently we had the accident of the YY Cortes that was around Okolo Trading Center. This was because the driver was at a terrific speed, and on seeing that there was another vehicle ahead of him, abruptly, because of also the potholes, he could not really negotiate a corner at a sub speed and also really move safely. He had to ram the vehicle onto some of the people, but unfortunately 2 people died. So this was one thing that really was coming out of the poor state of the roads that we have. But also talk about this road being really reducing the speed at, or maybe if the fire vehicle that we have here in Arua City, Arua Central Police Station, if it was to respond to the neighboring districts, it will be hard because of the poor state of the roads. The speed will be low and the response will not be really very fast. Talk about the recent fire incident in Zompo, which claimed so many, like three shops that really got burnt completely because there was no fire equipment that, like maybe the cars that will be responding quickly to sort out this kind of issues. Those are things in case there is a plan to rehabilitate this road very fast. It will be of importance because the contractors that have been brought to move on with the rehabilitation works of this road, we have seen them, instead of patching the holes, they are even bringing soil to fill these holes on a tarmac road. This is so unfortunate, and the quality of works they are doing is really not really commendable. That is one thing really we need to look into, because when it rains, this kind of soil is washed away and the gully is created. The potholes are created again, and we will continue to see people taking pictures of these kind of swamps on roads. Water being filling the road and so on. Those are things that are quite unfortunate, and that's why we are able to see this discussion coming out very, very prominent in the NUP mobilization campaign, and that was in Erifura playgrounds, that is in Arua City. And also in terms of electricity connectivity, a lot of promises have been made in terms of the deadline, beating the deadline when we will be connected. This has continued to come in. But we saw the other time the state ministers and also ministers coming to pledge government's commitment to continue and also fast track the establishment or the switching on of electricity from the national grid for Westnile region, and also the local governments being able to benefit from this kind of thing. And also we're yet to see if the electricity connectivity that is said to be by September coming in to materialize. That's one thing will be really fast tracking and also seeing whether this can materialize. If it materializes, that is our pride. That because there are a number of people who have ventured into business, and because this electricity has continued to be like blinking, switching on and off frequently because of that unstable power that we have. Many people have not really gotten the profits they wanted from the businesses they're doing, but also talking about a number of things that would be able to employ people, talking about the different businesses, talking about the factories that are redundant, talk about the huge multi-billion factory that is established in Awentere for value addition, specifically for cereals and also these other crops. In case we are able to power Westnile soonest, that will be very, very appreciative. So those are the big issues that we were able to pick from the mobilization campaign for NUP party that happened yesterday. But also we'll be bringing you more of these kind of issues in case another presidential candidate is able to come. We'll be also able to give that time for you to understand what he or she came with, and also what are the new things that he is seeing that the government has not done very fast, and or what he is able to awaken the government to do. Because sometimes there are a number of strategies, ways we can tell government what to do for the people of our region. Okay, the people of our region need this, need this, need this. Through our parliamentarians, through our few state ministers that we have in this region, that is one way we are able to channel some of these issues. But also when these presidential candidates come, but also other people whom we think when government listens to them is able to respond. When they also come, we should be able to raise some of these issues so that when they amplify them, government is able to work on them. Sometimes some of these MPs may not be able to have that chance to speak on the floor of parliament at the right time when we really direly need some of these services, because there are so many districts that are being represented by members of parliament. So from the parliament, if it is not able to reach in time, we should be able to look at other strategies. So these are some of the ways when these issues come, government may be able to also get them. It is not on bad faith, on bad note, that if we raise certain issues like of this kind, like issues of development, these are the things that we want as people of this region to really push for. If you are able to push for some of these issues of development, government will be really interested in funding or financing some of these things, instead of really every time critiquing or looking at certain angles of maybe saying government is not doing right and so on, this is that, this is that. But what is that thing that you have identified that is specifically for the benefit of your people, that is able to benefit all of them, instead of saying, hey, this is there, hey, government is not doing this here for our region, not for our region. But have we represented, how have we presented some of these issues to government? Those are the things we really want to really bring forth. Remember, the NUP regional offices were also opened or launched, officially launched by the presidential candidate, the president of National Unity Platform, that is here situated in Arua City. That is where the regional offices will be, and also you will be able to, in case of contacting other businesses of any UP party, all the mobilizers will be able to come for the regional meetings here in Arua City. But also, I've seen the party already registering so many of their members. This is one thing that they are now doing in order to ensure that the mobilization strategy is able to capture a bigger number of people, and also ensure that they have an impact at a grassroots level. This is some of the these are some of the ways they are deploying to ensure that they are able to reach the grassroots and also have that big number of people behind them. Maybe let's move away from that. Yesterday also in Arua district, there were a lot of issues to do with corruption tendencies, and also we saw IG, the Inspectorate of Government, and also the anti-corruption unit also teaming up to arrest 5 officers from Arua District local government. These included the principal human resource officer, that is Israel Echoku, who is the principal human resource officer, and also other people who really benefited from the 99 million Ugandan shillings that the IG noted that this money was really used by these kind of people. They connived to divert this money, and this is the money under wages. So there were 3 retired teachers who were paid double wages. Okay, they were paid monies double, and also When this came to the attention, first of all, to the attention of the office of the Auditor General, the Auditor General's office, and in their investigations, they cited that the 3 teachers, 2 of them were head teachers who are already retired, received this huge amount of money, that is 99 million Ugandan shillings, from this principal human resource officer who is there to manage staff payment lists, and also to ensure that staffs who have retired are scrapped off the salary. So this was how this money really moved their way. Remember, in the 2021 report, the 2021 report of the Auditor General, this money was cited as wages amounting to 99 million Ugandan shillings. And when the committee, the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee came to Arua District, they met in the former court hall, that is the current council hall of Arua District, last year. They were able to ask questions about this, and one of the unfortunate things was when this issue was raised, the principal human resource officer was away. He decided to hide himself until announcements were put on the local radio stations to look for him. And the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee was expected to deliver on this issue just in a day, but they were forced to sleep here. The committee by then was led by the Member of Parliament for Badagalabi Division, that is the MP for that constituency, who is Mapenduzi, Martin Ozara Mapenduzi, who by then was spearheading that park committee for local governments. And he really was disappointed by the actions of the human resource officer, and not until they had to write to these radio stations to put announcements from that evening up to morning, and not until they had to get this principal human resource officer to come and give answers to how this money really went away. And the principal human resource officer by then failed to adduce clear evidence, and not until he was put under arrest for about 8 hours and was released. After his release, he was forced to write a statement to why this money really was able to be deposited twice to the accounts of these retired officers. But also, if you look at the circumstances around this, there were efforts that were really put to recover this money, and it was told to recover this money in 3 months' time. But now, if you look at from last year, December, up to this time, the 3 months elapsed, and there was no action taken. And the feedback about the recovery of these funds was not received. And up to now, we are yet to see if this money was recovered or not. But this issue was handed over to the Inspectorate of Government to investigate further, because the recovery was really quite slow, and this resulted to yesterday's arrest of these 5 officers that were serving under Arua District and others who are still serving under the local government. These officers are arrested, basically the human resource officer, and then the finance officer, and then the others are the retired officers. Talk about the head teachers and the teacher, the classroom teacher, who were said to have connived in swindling this 99 million Ugandan shillings that was meant for wages to cater for the staff of Arua District local government. What does this mean to other local governments? What does this mean to the issues to do with the issues to do with the strategies that local governments are putting forth to address the challenges around staff payroll management, and also the issues around who is on our payroll and who is entitled to how much. What does this person do? What are those strategies that local governments are putting forth? Remember, this same kind of issues were raised in some of the investigations done in Tugam district, where a lot of ghost staff were paid. So these were a lot of issues that were happening, and it is not only in the Arua district. There are a number of local governments that have continued to have these kind of issues, and this cannot be done by one person. It is through this kind of syndicate corruption that is somehow difficult to trace. But if you are there to oversee this kind of things, you will be able to notice that. We have the politicians talk about the district councillors who are there to oversee the activities of this kind of staff that we have in the local governments. So if they are not able to really look at some of these issues and really bring them forth, then it is quite unfortunate. And if you look at the auditors that we have in these local governments, are they really doing their work? If it is only the Auditor General who comes to really bring out this kind of issues, how about the office of the internal auditors that we have in these districts? Are they doing enough? Are they even really pinning some of these, asking queries about some of these things, or they are just favoring or influencing the corruption that is happening in this kind of local governments? Those are the things we really want a number of these local governments to look at. If your internal auditors are not doing enough, can the political wing take a decision to ensure that these people work in a transparent manner? They are able to smell that kind of corruption that is happening in some of these departments, because they are the immediate auditor generals that we have in the local governments. Okay, so if they are not really able to do these kind of things, then we will continue to the efforts of reducing corruption in the local governments around payrolls, and also the issues to do with fighting corruption in other areas will continue to be a difficult situation that we'll be able to move through, because it is first of all the politicians who monitor some of these activities, much as they have hands of money. Okay, they have hands of money, but they have access to documents. They can be able to interpret, and this comes back to the quality of the politicians we send to these offices. Are these people who are able to reason beyond being representing the people? Are these people who are able to do oversight role? Because in the local governments we have the secretaries who are there responsible for this kind of things. We have the Secretary of Finance, Plan and Administration, who are there in these local governments. They are directly to oversee the issues of finances, the issues of administration, the payroll issues, the issues of staffing and so on. They are entitled to have access to those kind of documents. Are they able to really bring out these issues in councils in case they don't get satisfied of the explanations, or the district executive committees? Are they able to summon them to see that these kind of issues are ironed before even they escalate to the third parties who are fighting corruption? Talk about the different agencies, the Anti-Corruption Code, the Inspectorate of Government, the Auditor General, and then these others that are there. Talk about the civil societies and so on, that are said to be the third parties, and the primary sources that can really fight for us this corruption kind of things before it comes to us, the media, to really publish or maybe bring out or also dive into investigating some of these things, is one of these departments called the Finance Department. it has the finance, the technical wing and the political wing. The political wing is there to oversee what is happening and also contribute to some of the issues that are raised. But in terms of touching the money, they are offhand. They are not responsible for touching the money. And that's why most times when there are issues of corruption that are cited and investigations are being undertaken by some of the institutions in the local governments, you realize that most of the politicians are not arrested. Why? Because politicians do not have the mandate to touch these monies, because these monies move direct through the technical hands. So they are responsible of these kind of things. So if a politician is arrested, that means they have connived with these technocrats who ate the monies. So that is one thing that has been there, and a very big story that is in Arua district. And also you realize that if these kind of strategies are put in place, we will not have those kind of challenges of really having monies lost by these local governments. Remember, after the loss of this money, there were a number of staff who complained about their money is not coming in, especially the teachers. Teachers' money is delayed for quite a very long period of time, reaching to an extent that some of the teachers, through their umbrella organization, the Uganda National Teachers Union that we have in Arua district, the branch here, had to write to the district local government demanding that if they are not paid for more than 3 months again, they will now not really enter the classrooms. And that was the impact of what was happening in the Human Resource Office and also the Finance Department of this district. And that was the impact. So these are the things we need to really see. If you are a politician, don't really just relax in your home waiting for your monies that will be coming and from the council sitting aside allowances and so on. You can really take that initiative of using your own personal money to do oversight and move to these institutions and understand from the perspective of the workers. Are they satisfied of the way they are treated by these people who are responsible for their welfare? Are they being treated well? What are the things that they are lacking? And that is where you'll be able to get to the roots of these kind of stories that are coming, instead of really waiting for reports from these officers. Remember, they can really sugarcoat, they can really move to other kind of, give you other kind of explanations that you may not understand. They may say always okay, and yet on ground, these workers that we have employed in local governments may be facing a lot of difficulties in really coming away from that kind of thing. So that is where we are bringing this kind of story from, and also really a lot needs to be done. But these officers from yesterday were transported directly to Kampala, headquarters of anti-corruption court, and they will be appearing this morning. According to the IG statement that they wrote, these 5 officers will be appearing before the court this morning, and we're yet to see how far the issue will be, and also the issues of recovery of this money and how much has been recovered, who will plead guilty, who will plead no innocent, and so on. Those are things that will likely be coming out of that kind of trials. So in case this kind of monies are recovered, and if it is found truly that this money was eaten, it will be really unfortunate that the people who are supposed to benefit from this kind of finances really will be losing a lot from that kind of thing. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be able to move to other issues that are happening elsewhere also, and also be able to bring them forth for you who is watching Westnile television, the KOKOLIRIKO show that wakes up all the people who are really going for work. We say thank you very much that You are doing very good job to the nation building and also towards achieving the local economic development agenda of government that moves up to 2040. We're all up to that, where we are expecting to see that there will be no hunger by 2040, where we're expecting to see that there will be no sickness that will be breaking by that 2040, where we're able to see that employment is improved, okay? The employment status of our people is improved, where we're able to see that there is no illiteracy in this country. That is where we're driving at. And also, if you're able to do that, that is very important to the security and also the nation at large. Thank you. Let's move on for break.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
A brand new Global Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region. Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
A brand new Global Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. We are discussing about so many issues to do with corruption tendencies in local governments. Particularly, we are zeroing on the arrest of 5 staff from Arua District local government of the mismanagement or diversion of 99 million Ugandan shillings that was meant for the staff wages. And these arrested were the principal human resource officer, the finance officer, and 3 other retired teachers who really connived to, who according to the Auditor General, connived to swindle the 99 million Ugandan shillings that was meant for staff wages in the financial years 2021-2022, and this was really investigated by the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, who really demanded for answers. And remember, there were efforts made to recover this money, but this has never yielded any fruit because the principal human resource officer was not cooperating with the agencies that really wanted this issue sorted before any arrest is made. But it took a lot of time, and that resulted into yesterday's arrest. And we're here to see what comes out of the trial today. And we'll be able to break some of these kind of developments from that story. It is a developing story, and we'll be able to bring for you feedback of what is happening. Let's move away from that. We have just received an information that the Uganda Police Force, in their letter dated yesterday, that is the 13th of September 2023, has put maybe suspended the mobilization activities of the National Unity Platform, that is the NUP party, that they are moving to different districts. This is highlighted in a document signed by the IGP about the issues that are coming out during this kind of campaign, the mobilization campaign. First of all, looking at the issues of the accidents that are happening on the roads because of the movement. You see the rallies, people cover the whole of these roads, and also people who are yearning to really see their candidate, or the aspiring presidential candidate, that is Robert Chagulan, who moves with a huge crowd. And also this is one thing that has been cited to be a violation of the directives that police had also given to him. But also talking about the issues of attempted assassination of this presidential candidate when he was for his mobilization tour in Mbarara. One of actually Mbale, that is one of the things that are being highlighted in this document. And also police has said this will be until further notice, and also in case of any communication, that's when he will be either expected to resume or not to resume. And that is the letter that you are seeing being projected on the screens of Westnile television. So if you are also watching us from your dish, you'll be able to see it there. You are watching us through the YouTube, also the other channels. That is the letter that you'll be able to see clearly dated 13th of September 2023. And that mobilization campaign he had in Arua marks it at the end of the first phase of his mobilization tour. And this is exactly where police is putting a suspension of his mobilization activities. But it's not a bad thing in case of those evidences that police has been able to put in their letter, if they are true and they are working on them. It is for the good of the presidential candidate, and also for the safety of the people who are following him. Remember, there were a lot of of social media posts about this, why this is done this, why this is done this. But also, if you physically move to some of these campaign mobilization campaigns, for instance, here in Arua City, we're able to move to some of these things, and you realize that so many people of children, mothers, and also pregnant mothers. I talk about also those other people, categories of people who come for these things because of the mass or the congregation being large. It needs really not to be done in that way because we are not yet for campaigns. If people are to walk throughout and really have this kind of movements where businesses is destabilized and also transport is put at a point of maybe arrest and so on, where people want to move somewhere, it is very, very hard. They need to design more strategies to ensure that this kind of when maybe he's moving to a place, there should be no mass rallies on the roads to avoid businesses being interrupted, and also to ensure that people are able to get him from the rightful place. This kind of movements have affected a lot of activities. That's why you are seeing the issues of accidents being raised so hard on that later by police, and also the issues of people who are contested. You realize that a lot of things happen. People's phones are snatched. There are things to do with remember, this country is still in that fear of insecurity, talking about the looming bomb threats, that the explosives that have been detected throughout this last week, and the president coming out to put out some of the measures to ensure that people are able to be safe and also really safeguarded from these kind of things. And that is why these kind of letters are coming. It's not in bad faith. It is also for the good of replanning how really these kind of candidates are able to move to do the mobilization in a more friendly manner that favors all the communities. The business community, the people who are there lousing, the people who are there chilling, the people who are there doing any other thing that they want to do. So that is one other thing that has come into our attention, and we felt we should not leave it out. That's why we are able to come back to the NUP discussions to break for you that news officially. Now that these activities have been suspended, this should be an assignment to the NUP party to replan and also look at strategies of how really smoothly they are able to continue with their mobilization strategies, and also to ensure that really they don't come in conflict with the law, because if the EC gives, the Electoral Commission gives you directives that as you visit your people, comply with A, B, C, D directives, and you decide to move to E without being mentioned by the body that is managing campaigns in this country, it will be a total violation. That way you will be termed to be in conflict with the law, and you can be penalized, but in a smooth way, because the police understands the need for also this mobilization tours and so on, that will reflect on the 2021 general election outcomes. Because remember, if this kind of time is not given to candidates, there will be a lot of claims that you did not give me enough time and so on. This will be coming forth during the 2026 general elections, and that will be quite unfortunate on the Electoral Commission. And that's why the Electoral Commission has taken this mandate of giving the candidates the time to interact with their people and also have their structures formulated before even the time of campaigns, and so also look at the issues of formulating their strategies on how to handle the next coming general elections in 2026, and that is why these kind of things are given. And also now that police realized that the candidate is moving somehow slightly away from the rule of the game, that's why they're able to suspend. They did not say they will not permit or they will permit, but that is what is at stake. And they have done it in a just and fair manner. We have seen during, if this was during campaigns, they will arrest such kind of candidates that are violating this kind of guidelines that are issued by EC. But because they value the mobilization kind of things and also interact the frequent interactions between the candidates and their supporters and also their party delegates, okay, that's why they are able to, in a mild way, write it official in this kind of way. And that is one thing I want to say police is doing now, the just that people all need from them. Because if this kind of letter is not there and people just threaten through Twitters, through social media, through maybe talk about through press conference and so on, you go to the media persons and say, today we are banning this kind of campaign, today we are doing this, or you just go and start arresting, the candidate will really feel bad and their supporters will feel bad. But because of through these formal systems of communication, it is very, very important and also very easy for a candidate to understand that I need to do this, I need to do this, because a human being needs to be guided throughout his or her life. Because if you don't guide such a person, he or she will feel like whatever I'm doing is also good. You see that? So that is one thing which I feel like is very important as we break for you this news of the call off of the activities of mobilization that are under the National Unity Platform Party. So there are other political parties that are also gearing towards having this kind of mobilizations. So they should be also sticking to these kind of guidelines that are given to them before these kind of decisions are taken by the Electoral Commission or the police agencies or other agencies that are overseeing this kind of move by candidates to their voters. Okay, slightly away from that, let's move to the issue of buildings collapsing on people and see what really needed to be done in relation to having people safe and also ensuring that there is a standard put in this country. Remember last month we were able to bring to you that the Ministry of Works was able to come up with the Institute of Professional Engineers in this country, with the number of engineers that we have in this country, especially the over 5,000 engineers that have been groomed within this country, and also looking at what they needed to do and how they needed to conduct business. One of the issues that was highlighted was the issue of cheating the people in terms of cost and also in terms of the quality of works that have been done. And there is a body that has been put in place to regulate the housing and also infrastructure construction in Uganda. This is able to oversee the activities of this kind of engineers, the architectural department of this country. And this issue of the buildings collapsing has come so rampant in this country because of the attitude and also the love for money other than delivering quality service. And also we have out of these 5,000 engineers that have been groomed in this country, only 2,000 have been registered. That means majority have not registered with the Institute of Professional Engineers that we have in this country, which is mandated to see the quality of works, and also as they are registering these engineers, they are able to oversee what these people are able to do, the qualifications they have, and then do they really have the necessary documents to be termed as an engineer. We have so many quacks who go to institutions that are private, that are not really regulated, or some of them, although they are regulated, somebody might have not really done the rightful course, or has done the rightful course, but because he did not perform well in the institution, we have so many institutions that do not have practical kind of activities done in their institutes. We have most of the institutions do not have the equipments to do the practicals and so on. But you realize that papers are given year in, year out. They are graduating staff, they are graduating people, students and so on, who are able to come out and say, I'm an engineer, I did a diploma in this, I did certificate in this, I did bachelor's degree in this. And so this have continued to be in the communities. We have a case study of the building that collapsed in Chiotera district that was able to hit a 4-year-old baby to death. And this is one thing that has really continued to build around the issues of quality of works that have been done. We have buildings that are having no pillars. We have also a case of the main stadium that is being constructed in Arua Hill, where the cantilever was able to break, and the engineer said, I'm not responsible for this because I was not involved from the onset of this construction, and he distanced himself from that construction. And this is where we are coming from. And if this stadium is completed and the works are not supervised by government officials who are trained, remember this staff of government, when they are brought on board, they are screened thoroughly and they ensure that the rightful staff are brought on board. So in case this kind of staff are not really able to oversee the works that are done and so on, it becomes worrying, because a mini stadium will be something that is able to attract thousands of people, because this mini stadium of Arua Hill is going to host 2,000, close to 2,000 participants who will be there, spectators of football who will be able to watch from upstairs up to down. So in case of that huge weight that will be put on this building, and this building not being supervised by the city engineers that we have, what do we not expect in terms of this? And we have already seen that sign from the start of this construction. Before even the construction was completed, we saw the cantilevers breaking. That means the cantilever is where people are, it's actually like a pathway where people are able to stand and sit when they're doing businesses and so on. So if the pillars are not fixed well, if the pillars are not there, it is one thing that is quite unfortunate. So we were able to lose that 4 years old baby in Chiotera district, in that main town where the building collapsed, and also the efforts put to rescue this child was in vain, and later on we lost that kid. A kid that will be able to become an engineer, a doctor, a president in this country, who will be able to transform the lives of other people in the communities and also the nation at large. So that is one quite unfortunate thing. What do we need to do? One of the things is, first of all, having a plan for your building. If you want to construct a building, don't do it in isolation. Have a technical person that you'll be able to sit with and really understand what to do in terms of what you need for your building. Having a building plan is very important for you to have a very good house being constructed, and you having that plan with a technical person who is able to guide you, you'll be able to understand the nitty-gritties, what I need to do as a person, the owner of the building, and also what I need to do in order to raise funds. Because most times the buildings that are incomplete come about because many times people tend to rush to buy some of the things, and when they exhaust all the monies in an unplanned manner, then some of the equipments or materials that are brought at the site, when they are not adequate, you realize that people will tend to say, just finish it with what we have. The ratio of cement to the sand that you are using may not balance, and this affects the quality of works that are being done. And you realize that such a building will not have a long stay in terms of usage, and also it will develop cracks easily because these two materials are not able to match and really have a compact concrete base for this structure to stand on. But also having a BOQ that is harmonized by the technical personnel is very important for your planning. In case you don't have the money there, you will be able to use this to fundraise and look for where to get money to also move on with this. If you look at the statistics from the Uganda planning unit that has this mandate of overseeing the kind of structures we have. Actually, in urban centers, we are not supposed to have this kind of dilapidated structures that we have now. It's only in a rural city that I'm seeing people now quickly moving to transform and also have new structures, upgrading the quality of buildings that they have. Actually, in case you have a rusted building, I mean the roof is rusted, and also there is a lot of maybe the walls are not well painted, you are supposed to be taken to jail because you have failed to beautify the city. You are supposed to move away from the city center. Actually, if you have that kind of structure in an urban center, you are supposed to serve 6 months in jail, or you pay money worth 2 million for you to come out and now start doing the needful to also improve the status of this urban center. But also looking at what is needed for the business persons, also the people who want to reside in or put structures for rent in the towns and so on. There are standards that are followed, and this you will only get it from the physical planning unit of these urban centers. Talk about the municipals, talk about the town councils, talk about the engineers that we have. They know which kind of structure is supposed to come and also to be constructed, and also the kind of structure you are supposed to put is dictated by the law, and it's not you to say I want to maybe construct a school that is just a flat building or in a town center. It will be dictated from this kind of department. So in any kind of structure that you want to come up with, you should consult with this physical planning unit for you not to really be in conflict with the laws that we have in this country. Also, the Littering Act also says if your compound is dirty, you should be jailed for 6 months. So, or you will be charged for to pay 2 million. That also comes with painting. That also comes with the kind of roof you have. That also comes with the kind of materials you use, and so on. These are things that look minor, but they are so important, because if you use those kind of poor materials that you use, and also use unqualified officers to inspect your works, and you don't reconcile your plan with what is there in the fiscal planning unit, then you will have endangered the lives of the people who will be used in this facility, and also these kind of structures will collapse at ease. So we need to have all those in terms of having permanent structures in this country, and also ensuring that the safety of our people is a priority. And that is where we are bringing that discussion on the state of housing that we have in this country, and also before maybe we move into other issues. If you have any discussion that you want, or comments that you want to share with us about these kind of issues that we are discussing, please, you should be able to use our YouTube channel to reach us, and also write a lot of things that we'll be able to discuss with you, and also project your comments for others to also see that you are able to really write something concerning this. And currently here in Arua City, the drizzling that we were experiencing has ended, and it is exactly 16 minutes to 9 a.m. So we expect those who are really moving for work to rush right now, especially the government officials. By 8, we expected offices to open. So if you are still at home, you should be able to hurry up to reach your various workplaces to ensure that you deliver the service that is expected of you, because we don't want to really use the taxpayers' money to pay you for nothing, for no work done. Because when salaries delay, we always receive these complaints from you that government is not doing enough in paying, in motivating you. But you should also do the needful to, on behalf of government, deliver services to the people in time, so that really the work that you do is appreciated by community, and also government is able to pay you promptly. If you cannot deliver work, then people will not be ready to pay the taxes that are used to facilitate you in doing your work. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be able to move into the caution by National Identification and Registration Authority that they have warned the members of public about the issues of giving out their national IDs as loan security. That is one thing that has been happening, and you realize that a lot of the financial institutions demand for these kind of things. What is at stake? That's one thing we'll be diving into, and also bringing you updates from the international scene later on. Let's take a break.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
A brand new Global Star TV with StarTimes Inside Technology. New TV innovation with an inbuilt decoder that connects you to both StarTimes antenna and satellite signal. With StarTimes Inside Global Star TV, you can enjoy over 300 local and international channels, 1 month StarTimes highest bouquet for free, automatic system update, more benefits, more affordable. StarTimes Inside Global Star TV is available in all StarTimes branches and dealers countrywide. StarTimes Inside, entertainment inbuilt.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, welcome back from that commercial break. We are discussing about the issues of the state of housing that we have in Uganda, and also really the issues of bringing the technical personnel in the center of every construction. This is coming out because of the issues of rampant collapse of buildings in urban centers that have claimed several lives of people in Uganda. This is coming because so many people want to venture into construction of storage facilities that accommodate so many people in terms of businesses and so on. This is one thing we expect other people or people who want to venture into this estate, the building estate, to really do a lot in terms of consulting with the technical personnel in the local governments. Away from that, we earlier on informed you that the National Registration and Identification Authority, NIRA, has cautioned members of public about issuing their or giving out their national IDs as loan securities to financial institutions. Remember, many of these financial institutions need national identification cards or the IDs for people to access loans, and this is one thing that is against the section 69 of the regulations to do with regulations of Registration Act that we have in this country. And once you are arrested, you will be taken to jail for 3 years, and that is one serious warning that they have issued. And also look at what is happening in the local scene. You will realize that most of these financial institutions, but unfortunately there are some of the money lending institutions that are also really demanding for the original copies of these the originals of these IDs, which is very unfortunate, and this is coming out because there are some people whose IDs have been confiscated, but at the time of refunding these monies, you realize that these monies, these IDs have gotten lost, and this is stemming out of the over 1 million IDs that have been reportedly stolen or lost in this kind of trade that we have with financial institutions. That is one serious warning that has come from the NIRA offices, and also people who are accessing these loans know where you are going. And also, if you illegally give your ID to these kind of financial institutions without consulting with NIRA, you will be taken to jail for 3 years. That is one serious warning that has come. But away from Uganda, you will realize that in the US, Donald Trump yesterday was taken behind bars, and currently he's been under arrest, and so he has not been released, and this is coming because of the issues of maladministration that came through his tenure of office, but also the issues of financial mismanagement in US, and that is where we're bringing every discussion under the KOKOLIRIKO. So today, Thursday, to an end, and up next we'll be having the news in Lubarati with Feta Emmanuel, and catch up with me for the Friday edition that will be tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. But at some point we'll be able to have guests in case they are able to come tomorrow, and we'll be able to discuss a lot of issues that are of public importance. Remember, this show starts from 7 a.m. From now onwards, you'll be able to catch us live on this show, and you'll be able to get a lot of updates in the local scene, the regional and the international. That is where you are able to get this kind of stories. I am out of the studios. Thank you for watching.